Now, what I want to do now is I want to tell you how they do what they do so you understand how they get to you. I told you who they are, baiters. Now I want to tell you how they do what they do, and it's what I call the evil eight. The evil eight. These are the characteristics that these people have that make them so dangerous. Again, the evil eight are things that were present consistently among all the people that I found in my life that had qualified as baiters. And I got in a lot of trouble over this actually because I wasn't planning on doing this. I had a flip chart back in my office at home and I was writing on it, and then I'd tear a sheet off and tape it up on the wall, tear another sheet off and tape it up on the wall. And Robin came back there and found out I'd taped all this stuff up on the wall. She was not real happy because when I pulled that tape off the wall, sometimes it took the finish with it, so I got in trouble over that. She actually got into the project and was really, really very helpful and added a few people of her own. And these are the things that were consistently there. Evil eight. Number one, arrogant entitlement. These people have an arrogant entitlement about them. They actually believe they are entitled to what they do. They think they are entitled to what they think. And when you catch them, they are not remorseful. They are arrogant about it. They think they are entitled to what is yours. If you have worked hard, if you have gained something, if they take your job from you by cheating and going around you to the boss or whatever, they think they are entitled to do that. And if they've cheated to do it, they just think that's just the rules of the game. The rules of the game are there are no rules. Survival of the fittest. I got your job. I got your money. You should have been more alert. It's not my fault that you didn't watch me. It's not my fault you didn't catch me. I'm entitled to this. You should have been smarter. You should have caught me sooner. Listen, that's their attitude. Number two, they have a complete lack of empathy. When they do it, they don't have the ability to stand in your shoes and recognize what impact this has on your life. Now, this is different from number three, which is no remorse or guilt, because they have no remorse or guilt. The lack of empathy is they can't tell you what their actions have done to you. That's different from not being sorry. They can't tell you what it did to you. They don't realize when I cheated you out of this money, I stole this money or took your job or cheated with your spouse, you took me in and I raped your daughter. You gave me a place to live and I seduced your 14-year-old daughter. They have no empathy for you. They don't have the ability to say, oh my God, I opened my home to this person and they seduced and had sex with my daughter. So now I feel like I have failed as a father because my job is to protect my children, and I failed to protect my children. In fact, I brought evil into the home, and so now I feel terrible. I feel a failure as a father. They don't have the ability to put themselves in your shoes and recognize what that's done to your self-worth and your self-esteem. And number three, they have no guilt or remorse for putting you in that position, which is different from understanding the position. They have no guilt or remorse for putting you in the position they don't understand. How can they feel sorry for something they don't understand? So they have no remorse or guilt. So this is how it makes them hard to detect. Because people that have guilt or remorse, they'll start to show changes in their behavior. They'll start to show uneasiness or depression or an inability to look you in the eye, or they'll start to withdraw. Number four, They are irresponsible and self-destructive. I've had the Secret Service on presidential detail tell me before that if somebody is willing to give their own life to assassinate the President of the United States, there's no way you can stop them. Number 5, they thrive on drama. These people like turmoil, chaos, upheaval, drama. So they're happy to create big scenes at work, big scenes in the family, big fights among relatives. They thrive on this. It makes them feel important that they're able to get a reaction out of somebody on the other side. They thrive on this. They need this. It's what fuels them. It moves their needle. So you would think, that most people would not want to be in that kind of a pressure cooker. Not these people. No, they thrive on this. They want this upheaval. They want to have a big scene where you find out they're sleeping with your wife or your husband, or you find out that they've gone behind your back at work. They thrive on that drama because they like to be the center of attention. And they think if they're the target here and there's all this flap about them, they love that. They need it. They want it. Number 6, they brag about outsmarting people. They will actually come to you and con you in to letting them move in with you, give them a place to stay, and actually let you become part of your family-owned business, and then brag to you about how they outsmarted and conned the last person they were in business with. I kid you not. They will not have any empathy. They don't have the ability to put themselves in your shoes, so they will get into your business and talk to you about how they destroyed the last person they were in business with. Now you would think, how dumb is that? Well, it may be dumb to you, but they are so narcissistic that they think this is a quality, and they cannot help but crow about it, strut about it, pat themselves on the back about it. It never occurs to them, wait a minute, I'm telling my current target what I did to my last target. And then if you say something to them about, oh, I would never do that to you. I mean, this guy was so dumb, he was asking for it. Number 7, if you look at their history, you're going to see a lot of short-term relationships. They never stick. You're going to find they worked here for a little while, there for a little while, there for a little while. They were in this relationship, then this relationship, then this one, then this one. There's always an excuse. There's always a reason. They're always the victim. But for whatever reason, they never have a sustained relationship. They hop from one job to another, one relationship to another, one family member to another, one dwelling to another. Everything is short term because they either get found out or they pick them clean and move on to a new target. And number 8, they live in a fantasy world. They are delusional. And if you go to the trouble to start checking who they say they are, what they say they've done, what they say they've accomplished, and how they did it, you will find out it is a house of cards. There was just recently a story that's in the headlines right now. She was just recently found out, and it's in the headlines right now, about this heiress. She pretended to be an heiress and supposedly conned innkeepers and bankers in New York out of hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. And you think, how in the world could that happen? Because she was a baiter, and the I in baiter is imposter. And when somebody started looking past the facade and asked even the most basic questions, required even the most fundamental documentation, she didn't have enough to fill up a gum wrapper. And she was within days of getting a $60 million loan. They live in a fantasy world, and they are delusional, and they actually start to believe, like a method actor, the story they're telling. They start talking about being royalty. They start thinking they're royalty. They start expecting people to believe it because they're so narcissistic. And when it's all over, people are so red-faced because you say, well, did you ever ask a question? Did you ever, somebody came in here, and it's kind of like the movie Catch Me If You Can, where he was a doctor and a lawyer and airline pilot, and people say, did you ever ask to see a transcript? Did you ever call the university? Did you ever look for a pilot's license? Well, no. Why? Well, he had on a uniform. Well, you know you can get those down at the corner uniform shop, right? Oh, yeah. We take people at face value. That's a big mistake. I was raised to give people the benefit of the doubt because I was raised to deal with this world as it should work, not as it does work. And I think approaching life where you give people the benefit of the doubt is a higher form of insanity. Why would you do that? You shouldn't decide they're evil until they prove they aren't. Nor should you decide they're good people until they prove they aren't. What you should do is go in with an open mind in data collection mode and just start gathering information until you reach critical mass and you have enough information to make an informed decision.